Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here. Today we're going to talk about a short story, a fan-written short story called Overdue Goodbyes, which is actually a really nice read. This was actually written by the Flyattractor, who's been a huge supporter of the channel, one of my patrons as well. I read it back when he first posted it a couple years ago, and he had asked if I would give it a reread and just kind of give him some feedback on it, and I thought, that sounds like a good thing to do a review on. I enjoyed this story a lot because it's written so well. It's not long, but it's written so well that it's easy for me to picture what's going on in my head. This is basically a Sixth Doctor story with Perry at the very end, taking place basically between Season 2 and Season 23. And it starts out with a different person talking, a woman in Scotland. In the 1700s, 1786, which immediately makes me think of Jamie. And the woman is in the kitchen cooking. There's a lot of family there, a lot of friends there. Keeps mentioning keeping herself distracted, keeping her mind at work, not thinking about what's in this other room with a door blocking it. Basically, it doesn't take long to work out in your head that Jamie is older, he is dying, just of old age, And it's basically, this is his daughter, whose name is Victoria, and we also meet his granddaughter named Polly. And it's basically, the beginning part is about her and how she's trying to distract herself from everything going on. And it's really neat the way the Flyattractor writes all of this, because it feels real. It doesn't come across as fake to me. These are the kind of anxieties and thoughts I think that go through people's heads when someone's about to pass, a terminal illness, old age. It's just their time. All the different gauntlet of emotions you're going through. This really encapsulates that well. And then it picks up from her point of view of when she sees this gray fog and this band of colors comes walking through it, which is the Sixth Doctor. I really like how she describes his coat, or how the Flyattractor, I should say, describes the coat in the story, of just this gray fog and this band of colors comes walking out of it. It's really descriptive, and the one time when it describes the coat, I'm trying to remember how he phrased it, it's like a clear cornucopia of chaotic colors, or a chaotic cornucopia of clear colors. It's something like that, but I like, it's like talking about Scooby-Doo and saying the Principal Pooch's propensity for panic. I love stuff like that, and it just works well. It's not boring. Like the way he describes everyone's thought process in this and what everyone is saying is never boring. It's very creative. It feels like the story has went through several revisions, which is something even the modern show can't always say, let's be honest, where you feel like you're getting a rough draft or a second pass at best. Where this felt like he really took the time to go over it and get it just the way he wanted it. And the way he describes the Sixth Doctor especially from Victoria's point of view, again, Jamie's daughter being named Victoria, really gives him this unearthly presence, this otherworldly alien presence, in a good way, that she can see the brilliance behind his eyes and the way he speaks. And it really nails the fact that the Doctor is an extraordinary character in the sense that he's not just human. He is more. There's something about him just in his bearing. And he does a really good job at writing the Sixth Doctor to where I can tell by reading this story, okay, this guy really gets the Sixth Doctor. This guy really gets this character. It feels more expounded upon, kind of like what Big Finish does with the Sixth Doctor, where he feels more fleshed out. I feel like I get every little detail of this character as a whole. Because some writers you can tell sometimes when writers don't quite understand how to write a Doctor, including in the show. But sometimes you can tell when a writer gets a Doctor and they just get that Doctor. And that is definitely the case here. And this isn't me just prattling on because this is someone I know. This is someone who's a huge supporter of the channel. I'm not like that. If I had criticisms, I would give criticisms. But I thoroughly enjoy this. I have a couple criticisms I'll get to at the end, but that's more a subjective thing. But I enjoy this because it reads really well. I like the structure of his writing. Much like, I love Robert Jordan a lot. Robert Jordan writes my favorite book series of all time, The Wheel of Time. Yes, I refuse to watch the show. That's another story. But I love the book of The Wheel of Time series. Robert Jordan can take a page and a half to describe an eye blink, but I love it because I love his writing style. And that's kind of like this here. I love this writing style. Even when we meet Jamie's granddaughter, who's only 3 or 4 years old, Polly, she feels like a fully fleshed out character in the descriptions we get for her and the little interaction we get with her, and watching the Sixth Doctor interact with her. And then finally, when Victoria and Polly leave the room with Polly holding a book, because even this proceeds under the fact that Jamie never got his memories back. That's one of the huge linchpins of the story in a way. One of the main parts of the story is Jamie never got his memories back. You know, because this was written before Tales of the TARDIS, that little mini Tales of the TARDIS episode. But some of it had leaked through, like some of their stories had leaked through, and Jamie had written them down as kind of fairy tale stories, which he read to his daughter and to his granddaughter, and which Victoria reads to Polly, etc., etc., etc. And so some of it had kind of leaked out. And it's neat listening, you know, the granddaughter's holding the book with all of these stories in it, and of course the Doctor knows these stories because he was there. And then the Doctor finally does get a moment at the end with Jamie, who is asleep and snoring loudly. I love how he mentions he's loudly snoring. And, you know, again, it's just his time. He's about to pass. And then, of course, the Doctor has a very somber moment where he talks to him. And, he says, hello, Jamie. He goes, I've come back to right a wrong, you know, something that was taken from you. And right there at the end, he gives Jamie his memories back. And it's wonderfully described, basically, Jamie experiencing getting all these memories back, as it talks briefly about, past adventures. And you can picture in your head it being like a montage of flashes like the modern series would do if somebody was getting their memories back with, the little images from the classic series flashing in. I love when they do that. I love when the classic images pop up. I enjoy that. Like in The Giggle with the original Toy Maker, stuff like that. And so I can picture this fast images going in, kind of like in Death of the Doctor and Sarah Jane Adventures, just flashing through. And then Jamie sits up briefly, and he cries the Doctor's name before he falls back and passes away, with a smile on his face. He passes away with a smile, happy to get his memories back. And it's a nice, excuse me, it's a really nice moment. And then the end is, of course, the Doctor walking back to the TARDIS and Perry wondering where he's been. And the Doctor just kind of telling her he had to stop off and see someone, and he tells her where we are, and I had to see an old friend. And I forget what he says to her. He's like, Perry, you were right for once. And then the description is, if women could shoot lasers from their eyes. And I remembered chuckling at that as she just stared at him, if women could shoot lasers from their eyes. And at the end, he's like, let's go to Revelox, basically leading into Mysterious Planet. It's a nice little amusing ending with Perry being frustrated with the Doctor. It's very descriptive. Like I said, it's very easy to picture what's happening in this story. I found it a very enjoyable read, actually. I like that when writing this, he gets the characters. He gets the Doctor, he gets Perry, what little bit we get her at the end, and he fleshes out the other two main characters we see being Jamie's daughter, Jamie's granddaughter. And it's a really fun read. My only biggest problem with it is I'm in two minds in a way, because while I think the story written is very good, I don't like the idea of Jamie not getting his memories back until almost seconds before he passes. I'd rather have a story where Jamie actually gets his memories back, like a story in the modern series where they run into Jamie and he gets his memories back. Not that I trust Russell with Jamie, but I would much prefer Jamie have an adventure where he gets his memories back, even being older, where he gets to enjoy those memories for a while. So my main problem is merely the idea of the story. I have a little bit of trouble with, simply because I think all of us with old companions coming back, we all in our head, we know how we want it to happen. Before Ace came back, we all imagined how we wanted Ace to come back, how we wanted Tegan to come back. And so, you're never going to be able to do a story that's going to live up to everybody's wants, because everybody has their own wishes. So that's a little hard for me, because it doesn't line up with what I want in my head for how I want Jamie to come back. But judging it on how it's written and the subject matter, it's really good. I think the story is a good story, and I think the structure of how it's written is better than the modern show can do sometimes. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. It's a great read. If the Flyattractor writes some more stories, I would be down to read them. So if you want to write another one, feel free to send it to me. I'll give it a read. I'll give it a review. I really enjoyed this because, again, it's very descriptive. And it's you can tell it's had several passes at it. It doesn't just feel like it was written and, oh, I got to the end, it's done. It looks like he went back over it and really did some revisions to make it the way he wanted it. I like the wordplay in it a lot. So that's my thoughts on Overdue Goodbyes, a nice short story from a big Doctor Who fan. I want to know what you think of this review and what you think of fan works. I think fan works can stand tall. I mean, the fandom is what kept the show going in the wilderness years in so many ways. Doctor Who fans are a creative lot. We're a very passionate, creative lot. Don't forget to click the like and the subscribe button. I also have a Patreon if you would like to support me on that. There is a link to that down in the description below. Flyattractor is one of my patrons. I want to give a shout out to some of my other top tier patrons, Colin Coney, Sam Venning, Finn Perkins, and Unknown289. I appreciate their support as I do the support of all of my patrons. I appreciate every single one of them and my YouTube members. I have a P.O. box if there's anything you'd like to send me to look at and review. A link to my Amazon wish list is down there. A link to my Amazon UK wish list is down there as well. Most importantly, thank you for watching.